So I have a 15-year-old nephew that's in high school that his name is a boss. And so I'm making this video for him because he asked me today, how do you start a business? And I'm like, well, hey, you know what? I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to tell the world and I'll share it with you. So here you go, boss. This is how you start a business in California in 2022. Or 2023 is coming up soon too. Yo, what's up everybody? Today I'm going to tell you exactly how to start a small business or business in general in California. I might not look like a business owner with my hat and, my outfit, but I actually have started a couple businesses. One of them actually pretty successful. The other one's, is starting to get going. But I could tell you exactly how I started my businesses on a budget as well, because I didn't really have a lot of money starting out. And there's a lot of ways, you could spend a lot of money, like maybe paying attorneys and just other stuff to file all your paperwork at first. So I'm going to run you through how I started all my businesses for a pretty low cost, and also how you can do it in the correct way as much as possible so that you're within all the rules that you have to abide by for, let's say, being in the state of California. So let me just run you through exactly everything that you should know. How to do it the quickest, fastest, easiest, and at the lowest cost, and to have it done well. So first of all, of course, you will need an email address, of course. I recommend Gmail. Then you will need a normal address, a normal physical location. You can actually use, if you want, you can use a UPS box number. And I recommend that over a USPS box number because like other, USPS is not, I don't think, as versatile as a UPS box, such as like FedEx and other companies sometimes won't deliver to USPS boxes. So a UPS box is just an easier way to go. It also kind of looks like a real address sometimes to other people, so they can't really tell. Yeah, I recommend putting that on it pretty much as many things as you can put, because when you start a business, you're gonna have to put your address on a lot of things, and you might need to move too constantly. So you might be moving around and you don't really want to have to update your address on all these things that are like filed with the state and all these government agencies that take months to update. So you really want to get a mailbox, recommend, like I said, UPS box, where if you move, the box address doesn't move where you get your mail. So you don't have to mess with it ever again. And setting aside any products or services, because we're not getting into that yet, we're just talking about how to set it up, all your stuff up like by, with the state and the government agencies, so you can pay your taxes and you can be actually a business. Personally, what I did, and it's pretty awesome, and I'll show you right here. I'll show you what I got. So this is actually my little business document packet that I got for one of my last businesses that I started, and I did it on LegalZoom. And, I'll be honest, LegalZoom is actually pretty cool. So far I'm not getting paid on this video for LegalZoom. Who knows, maybe I'll get an affiliate link and put it in the description if it gets enough views. But LegalZoom is actually amazing when it comes to starting LLCs. You don't actually have to pay very much. You can pay for rush delivery. It really saves you a lot of like trying to figure stuff out, and maybe you do it wrong and all that stuff. They kind of take the system. What they do is they take like a system, like if you were like go to the state website and do it yourself, they make it an easier system, for you to just do it. And it's really fast and pretty low cost. I mean, it's very low cost, a lot cheaper than going to like a business attorney. That I don't know if it's necessarily necessary. A business attorney is probably good if you're trying to figure out like a lot of other things, like not just like setting up like an LLC. Or maybe you need to figure out like what kind of, whether you need a corporation or LLC or sole proprietorship. But odds are an LLC will probably work. An LLC stands for a limited liability company. And an LLC, it takes a lot of the liability for what you're doing. And basically the business has the risk. So it's almost like an insurance policy, not quite, but that's the whole purpose of a limited liability company, because you're basically, your liability is constrained within the assets of that business. Unless like you do some really bad stuff, then they can go after you personally. But typically the limited liability company is your kind of protective measure to where that protects you for your business. Unless, like I said, you do some really bad stuff. So when you're going through the LegalZoom setup, you're gonna see something called like a registered agent fee. And typically that's like for somebody who corresponds, some place where people can get sent stuff, or I don't actually exactly know what a registered agent fee is, but I know it's very complicated if you do it yourself, and it's really not worth your time. So I really recommend using LegalZoom's registered agent service. annual fee. I think it's like a few $100s a year or something. I've always been doing it. I did the math myself, and it doesn't make sense for me or somebody else to do it because there's certain like rules. Like I can't exactly remember the rules right off the top of my head, but it's just easier to just pay LegalZoom to do that as your registered agent. Aside from the LegalZoom stuff and whatnot, just be prepared that every year you're gonna have to pay $800 annually for your LLC minimum LLC tax, and that's just if your sales are zero. You have to pay $800 a year every single year. And if your sales actually increase a lot, then you'll actually have to start paying more on that. Like if you have sales over $1 million or whatever, they'll start charging you a percent of sales, or they have like a sliding scale. I can't exactly remember what it is, but after you've also filed your LegalZoom thing, you've paid and you've gotten your little booklet, you're going to get a piece of paper called the Statement of Information that you're going to have to file with this state, and you're going to have to fill it out. You're going to have to look over and read it over and file it with the state, and I think pay like $20, and it's basically just something you just got to fill out. So just don't forget to file your Statement of Information, fill it out, pay $20 and give it to the state after you've done your LLC registration with LegalZoom and paid your registered agent fee as well. As well, you're going to have to get an EIN number. That's a federal tax number. It's basically like your social security number, but for federal reasons. And so that's the number that you're always going to get and when you file your taxes, and you're going to use it a lot. It's 10 digits. So yeah, EIN number is 10 digits. It's 2 digits a dash and then 8 digits. And that's your federal tax number. You're going to use that for a lot of stuff. So you're going to go to the online, I think, preferably to their website, the IRS's website, and you're going to fill out, it's called an SS4 form. So be on the lookout. LegalZoom will tell you, hey, fill out the statement of information, get your EIN number, get your SSS form with your EIN number on it from the IRS. Very important things you need to do. And use that address that you're using for the UPS box or another physical address that you have, and use that on all the documents so all the mail comes to one place. So here in San Diego, I also have a business tax certificate in San Diego, and that's just like I don't know what it is. It's just another document that you need. I don't really come up with these things, and I don't really understand them all, but apparently you have to have it. And so, I just pay, I think it's like $36 a year. So just remember, if you're in San Diego and California, and you probably will need it if you're in another city, it's a business tax certificate. And I don't know, we just need it. So who knows? Another thing you're going to need is a seller's permit, which is actually very useful because with a seller's permit, you can sell things, products or services, as well as you can use it for giving people information on a reseller's permit, because then you won't have to pay sales tax on items that you buy and then resell. So let's say I bought some wholesale stuff and I resold them to somebody else. I don't pay tax on the wholesale stuff, but when I sell it, I do have to charge sales tax to the person that I sell it to in California and other places where you sell to. You might have to charge tax. It really, there's a lot of rules and stuff, but so it saves you from paying sales tax. So it's very huge. Let's say you're buying something for like 30 grand. You don't have to pay $2,400 in sales tax, or almost 8%. So I think 30, it's about 8%. Very important to get your seller's permit so you don't have to pay sales tax on a lot of items. It's not very expensive to get it. The annual fee is nominal, but you need it. Now it's time to get your product or service and in a row. I don't know what it's going to be. That's a different topic for a different video, but figure it out, make sure it's good, and start selling. Also, what you're going to need, and this is the majority of the things that I've said already is kind of the bare minimum that you need to start a business, to actually start running a business. Now, depending on what you want to do, like what your business is, there's also different regulations. Like let's say you have a warehouse. It's going to be completely different than if you're selling online. If you're selling stuff online, you could probably just operate it out of your apartment, and you could just sell stuff online until you get so big, you can't fit everything in your apartment. The only downfall of that is, of course, getting packages in and out of stuff, and especially when it's like a lot of stuff, because it's very difficult to get pallets delivered to apartments on. It's just kind of hard to like deal with freight to residential places. So depending on your business, you want to, there's a lot of things that can go into it. Like if you're in a commercial place, depending on what your business is, you have to figure out the zoning and whatnot so you get in the right building for it. But that's like something you can figure out with like a realtor agent. that your commercial broker that you're talking to, if you're going to get a commercial space, whether it's retail or a warehouse, or it's office space. Everything is zoned by the cities typically, so that it's proper. People are doing the proper work in the proper areas of town. Like you don't have like a chemical company in like an office building. Typically, there's like zoning for it. Or like hardcore like things like hardcore manufacturing. It's a different zoning than like light manufacturing. What you want to do also is very important. You want to set up your own bank account, business bank account, but it's going to take a little time because you have to file your stuff with, let's say, LegalZoom with the state. Then you have to get your EIN number from the IRS. And then after you get those things, then you can make a business bank account. So this process actually takes several months. And sometimes, so that's why it's really good to get the accelerated version of all the things when you're getting the formation of your LLC or whatever entity you're getting. That is why you can start your business faster, and time is money. So that's why I highly recommend paying extra to get everything done quicker, because you just don't want to wait. There's actually one exception. When you're getting an LLC at the end of the year, you actually have it on, because you pay $800 for the annual LLC thing, no matter what. And if you wait to file your formation of your company after the new year, or after, I think it's like December 15th, they actually, I believe, waive the $800 fee. But at the same time, you have those 15 days that you're waiting for it. So, you just got to wait. It's 15 days worth $800 to you, or however many days you have to wait. I think I waited on one of them just because I was doing some other stuff. But, $800 a year is still, starting out, it's some decent money to save. But basically, without your LLC formation or your business entity formation and your IRS number, you can't start a bank account. Without a bank account, you can't do a lot of stuff, because then you're going to have to be going off your personal bank account, and that's going to be a crazy headache. So other than that, very smart also to get a QuickBooks account. And if you're trying to really not spend too much, then you're going to have to really document all your stuff very well. I mean, you have to regardless, but you can use Excel sheets. I really recommend getting a bookkeeper, like a low-cost bookkeeper. Now I'm kind of going off on like a tangent on how to run a business properly. In terms of just how to start a business, I've kind of already explained everything you need. You need a good product, good service. Go to LegalZoom, pay for their accelerated package to start your business as fast as possible. I recommend LLC. Most companies are LLCs. That's the better way to go. Get your IRS number. File the statement of information, get all your other little certificates I told you about, the sales tax, business certificate of your city, reseller's permit, all that stuff, or seller's permit. And other than that, you're pretty much on your way, You're pretty much on your way. You made it pretty much, but that process takes several months, but that's the majority of what you need to know so far. So that's what you need to do to start a business. Everything probably costs a few $1,000s in total, and it just takes a lot of time. The first time is not that easy because, you may make a lot of mistakes, but just keep reading everything and, doing everything, and you'll figure it out. So if you like the value of this video at all and you think you can actually start a business pretty quick in California now, please like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and watch my other videos. See ya.